Do you ever do you do this? Let me ask you a question. Quick question. Do you schedule your day and then you're like, okay, I'm going to do this thing for 45 minutes. All right, I've got a time block of 45 minutes for this thing. And then the time comes and then there's suddenly this, oh God, I need more time. There's not enough time. This is only 45 minutes. It's going to take me at least 4 hours. I just can't handle this. You guys ever get like that? Schedule dread? Let's get on the other end of that.
You are listening to ADHD Big Brother, the podcast for adults struggling with their ADHD and comorbid depression symptoms. Yeah. I'm your host, Russ Jones, author of Descending to the Top, believer that you can actually have a smile in your life despite this diagnosis. So let's make some sense out of this struggle. Let's learn some stuff. Let's laugh at some stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, here's some stuff.
Welcome to the podcast. Yeah! I'm glad you're here. I don't know if you're aware of this, the level to which I'm glad you're here. It is pretty significant. It warms the cockles of my heart that you are here. Do you guys know what a heart cockle is? Yeah, me neither. I'm pretty sure it's like a ventricle, but I don't know what a ventricle is either. I think it's a heart tube. I'm guessing it's a tube in the heart. Gosh, hearts are amazing. Mine's actually been broken a couple of times, and yet it still pumps away. It lives to pump another day. So long story short, I am glad you're here. Thank you for tuning in. A couple of shout outs I want to do today because I got such a cool email from Brandy. Thank you, Brandy. You know who you are. I find it super interesting how things seem to happen to me at these perfectly timed moments. The night prior to her email, I went to bed with raging imposter syndrome. It's like my brain tucks me in at night, and as I'm pulling the covers up and over my shoulders and I'm cozying into bed, my brain leans over to kiss my cheek and whispers, "You've wasted your life. And this stupid thing you're building, it's going to tank because you're a fraudulent piece of shit. Sweet dreams." I'm just sitting there with my eyes wide open. What? Oh, God. I challenge anyone to take that to the mirror and turn it into, "I love myself." Good God. And then the next morning, I received a wonderful email from Brandy, who shared what the show means to her, encouraged the shit out of me. Brandy, you rule. Thank you. Shout out number 1, complete. And shout out number 2 goes to forum member Anna, who earned her Marinara Mind badge on her way to becoming a Skull Spaghetti Master. What does that mean, you ask? She's been showing up in the Daily Accountability Club in the forum, posting the thing that she's determined to accomplish that day, despite the ADHD, and she did that 60 days in a row. 60 days in a row of consistently doing what she said she was going to do, earning her the Marinara Mind badge. Next up would be 100 days in a row. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is full Skull Spaghetti mastery right there. So that's a mega accomplishment. Anna, super stoked for you. And we'll look forward to seeing you at 100 days. Let's go. That stuff is such a big deal to me. I don't know how I can make it any bigger. It's I can't speak to it enough. Like, could you imagine that? Like, you know who we are, right? We go to a therapist. They give us a perspective. They change our mindset. We process our garbage with them, and they give us an assignment, something to work on, maybe something to pay attention to that week. And then I don't do the work. I mean, if I'm the only one, you guys let me know. Reach me out in the contacts and let me know. It is a freaking slog, and because of our ADHD, we forget what we worked on. It goes away, and then the night before the next appointment, there's that scramble. It's sort of like what it was like in high school for me, where I'm doing a book report at 2 a.m. because it's due the next day. It's sort of like that people pleaser in me. I was like, I don't want to let my therapist down. I want him to know that I'm working hard, so I'm going to scramble and do some thinking about my shit. Could you imagine just doing that work every single day and how fast we would get our shit together? God, I love that. That's the stuff we're doing in the forum. Come on now. I wish it wasn't called a forum. I need to rebrand that because that makes it kind of sound like it's some UN meeting and there's a bunch of people sitting around a table talking about policies. Yes, let's turn to Amendment 45 and revisit this protocol. It's not like that. It is a community of people actively supporting each other, doing the shit. But it's the place. It's the place for people who truly want to actively do the things that they want to, but they can't, because that ADHD is a motherfucker, Depression is a mighty bastard. Yeah, bring your therapy shit in there and use the forum to make sure you're doing the work. God, imagine how fast that you'd have your shit together. And honestly, just so that we don't make this into a total advertisement, which these always feel like that. Yeah, they kind of are, But you can do this without the forum. Like, mine costs money, so I get it, right? That's just my vehicle, right? But man, get with a group of people. Make sure it's shame-free, judgment-free, and then help each other. Give each other daily accountability. Get help doing the work that you know how to do, that you want to do, but you can't seem to do on your own. You know what I mean? I'm all about it. However you get it, that's such a big deal. Find it, seek it, do it. I'm personally really sick of being depressed and immobile. So I'm always working and trying to figure out ways to be, like, if depression is a part of what's going to happen to me, how can I be depressed and mobile? How can I be active? And community is such a big motherfucking deal. So can't say it enough. So that brings us to schedule dread. What the hell is schedule dread? It's a scientific term that I just made up. There's a chemical in the hippocampus precordial lobe strata, and it spurts out dread sometimes when I'm scheduling or when I'm embarking on a timed work session. I had scheduled a few work sessions in my day specific to the forum and to ADHD Big Brother. I can't really fully remember now but it's probably marketing or something like that I was working on. Because that's like an overwhelming chore to me. But it was one work session per thing that I was doing. And when I set the timer for that first 45-minute session, I just felt this tsunami of dread washing over me because I had only allotted one work session for the day. So when it was done, that's it for the day. It was like, oh my God, I only have 45 minutes to do this thing. It's not enough time. There's not enough time. I need to do more. Oh my God, this is awful because I need to do this other thing as well. And what if I need more time for that? And what if I can't focus and really move the needle forward on the thing? And oh my God, it was sheer dread. It wasn't really like this panicky thing that I'm doing right now, but it was dread. Like, this is no way to live. I can't handle this feeling and I have shit to do. There's this dread that just washes over me sometimes, and it's quite prevalent lately. It's almost like I have the urgency to do the thing. You know how we need urgency to get to do stuff? It's not that I don't want to do these things. This is for a thing that I actually do want to work on, and I feel the urgency for it, but I'm caging the beast in time. I can't give myself into this effort in the way that I want to, or that I feel I need to, and it frustrates the hell out of me, and it creates all that dread. Do you guys get like that? I'm super curious. I'm kind of talking about the art of chipping away at a thing. And chipping it away at a thing is sometimes this personal feeling that I need to have my needle moving farther. And it's not far enough. I'm not dedicating enough time to it. I'm such a piece of shit. Why am I not better at this now? I suck. And it's like I can feel myself not being cool with myself about it. And like, that analogy where I'm like, that metaphor where I'm like, if I can't love myself, I can be cool with myself. I can treat myself like a roommate, he's annoying, but he pays the bills. I can feel that. And I feel like I'm at this point this last week where this metaphorical roommate, it's like, he's got to go. He's starting to watch TV really loud in the middle of the night. There's tortilla chip crumbles all over the floor. And he's just like, it's like he's choosing not to flush the toilet. It's, you know what I mean? For everything. And I'm like, what's your deal, man? And then he's farting all the time, and I have company coming over, and I can't move out. I live here. It's my mind. I live inside this mind. Oh my God. I'm working myself up. You know what I need? I think if this metaphor is not going to work for me right now, I need a fresh perspective. Sometimes a perspective gets old. I get it. And, it's like a grape that slowly withers into a nasty looking raisin. Doesn't mean that it's not edible. It's just not the tasty grape that it used to be. So I think I need a fresh, be cool with myself perspective while the roommate metaphor turns back into the grape. And I know who to call. You know who has good perspectives on life shit? Meredith Edwards. Do you guys remember? We were on each other's podcasts. She does the Meredith For Real podcast. She's a super awesome podcast, by the way. You should check it out. And she has amazing ideas. She's my friend, and I think we should call her up. Let's see what she does. Yeah, incidentally, her number's all ones. And for some reason, her number is like 45 numbers long. Hold on. Yeah, she's just really such a good idea person. I always like love talking to her. So I don't know what time it is where she lives right now. So let's hopefully she's home. Oh my God.
Hello.
Meredith. Trust.
Hey,
I need your help.
what's going on?
I'm literally over here. I'm struggling with I'm having schedule dread. I can't. I know what I want to work on, but like when I'm sitting down to work on it, I get like there's like this. It's like a feeling like I need more time. I don't have more time, and this is spiraling me to this like where I'm like, God, you're such a piece of shit, dude. Like, why can't you? I'm losing my be cool with myself. And I tried to do the be cool with myself of, you know, the shitty roommate thing. We're like, oh, you can always, you know,
Right.
if you're beating yourself up, you can always just treat yourself like a shitty roommate. You know, at least he pays the rent. It's not working. Can you
Okay.
help me?
I think so, because I struggle with this too. And, the roommate analogy doesn't always work for me either. So, another tool I have in my tool belt is to see myself as a part of nature. And I'll tell you what that means. So, when
You're a tree. Okay.
actually, yes, how did you
Oh.
know? When you see a tree, are the leaves green all year long? No, they're not. When the leaves turn orange, do we go, you know what? That piece of shit tree, it didn't keep its green leaves, and I am disappointed. I am disappointed. No, we go, oh, wow, look. The leaves have turned orange. It must be going into autumn. Are we angry at nature for going from summer to autumn? No. But yet, we expect complete, perfect consistency with ourselves. If we've decided to have a yoga routine, a meditation routine, and follow whatever New Year's resolution we made, we expect ourselves to do it perfectly and consistently every single day through every single season. But that's not how nature works. So why are we any different? So if I can at least be
Wow.
as nice to myself as I am a tree, like who cusses at trees? Like what jerk does
No.
that? Nobody. Or, like a puppy. You would never talk to a puppy the way that you talk to yourself sometimes. You'd go, "Oh, napping a lot today. Okay, here's a cookie."
That's really, really good. I love the tree analogy. The idea that you're basically asking me to hug the tree. You're asking
Yeah.
me to be a tree hugger. I'm down with that. I can do that.
Exactly. And then
Oh
it
my God, that's
creates
super helpful.
more of a question that you can ask yourself within the realm of possibility instead of asking yourself a question that is really just a wagging finger at yourself. So after you show yourself grace and go, that's interesting. It's one of those days. Then you can ask yourself a helpful question like, all right, here's what I have to do. All of it feels overwhelming. I feel the dread of the project deadline and the time I've given myself. And maybe I messed up and I waited to last minute to even start this thing. What can I do right at this moment? What can I do? What can I do? And then
Yeah.
that, with the foundation of grace leads into a helpful situation and can be action, which can lead to completing the task.
God, you know what? That is really that's brilliant because I can visualize that so often with me. I have to if I can't see it won't stick with me. I'm like, oh, that's a cool thought that you just had. I can picture that, and it actually feels like a big deep exhale. So like
Yeah.
you do those guided meditations. They're like, okay, breathe in and hold it. Now breathe out all the negative energy.
Yeah.
That's what that metaphor feels like. It feels like that big positive exhale. God, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And I literally thought of that one day as I was on a walk in the morning and I was noticing that this really beautiful tree in my neighborhood had lost all of its leaves. And I realized that if it didn't shed its leaves, it couldn't actually make new leaves. There wouldn't be any room for the new leaves. And so respecting my own mind and body as a part of nature is not just like a way to tolerate myself. It's actually pretty important because you have
Yeah.
to make room for whatever the new thing is. So if I'm overly committed to my New Year's resolution for resolution's sake, because I will feel good about myself and better than everybody else because I continued to check the box every day, then I'm not making room for whatever is next, therefore missing the point of the actual self-improvement I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah. Do you? Oh, I lost my thought. I was going to ask you something about that. I can't remember. Huh. Well,
Trees falling, leaves, bear, walking.
what if somebody comes at me with an axe and tries to chop me down? What do I do then? What's the metaphor? I really connect with that, Meredith. That's all I see. I knew calling you is the right thing to do here. It's the fucking perfect. That's awesome. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
What are you doing today?
Well, speaking of nature, I'm going to repot a few plants. I have a Sansevieria that really needs some attention.
Oh, you got a Sansevieria, huh? How, like I know what it is. What would you do if I actually knew? Oh, yeah. In the family Phyllis Cordidoleus. Interesting. Is that the right climate for that? Interesting.
What are you, zone 9A?
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I hope you're putting extra vitamin C in your fertilizer for the Stradivarius. What was it?
Are you team worm castings or are you team
Hmm.
chicken poop? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Clearly chicken poop all the way. Free range chicken poop.
Hey, wait a minute. Aren't you doing some? Aren't you recording a show right now?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. But before I go, when I go to work today, I'm gonna listen to your show. Give me an episode because I haven't listened to all of them.
Okay, I think you might like episode 208. It's with
Uh-huh.
a mental health professional, and she
Okay.
talks about trigger warnings. We ask the question, are trigger warnings helping us or making us weak? It's really good.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I might have
she's
just gotten
very good.
triggered listening to your trigger warning talk about triggering. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, you'll like it. She talks about how to not manipulate yourself and the critical ingredients to actually achieve healing from trauma. And she is a very qualified person to talk about trauma because she's an
Oh, cool.
incest survivor in addition to being a mental health professional.
Oh my God, you have the most coolest episode guests. Oh my God. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate the phone call.
Bye.
Bye. Man. See what I'm saying? She's got such good ideas. I'm going to go listen to that episode now. Trigger warnings. Well, after I'm done with you guys. Um, trigger warning. That's such a hot topic, trigger warnings, isn't it? I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to check it out. Okay, so now I see myself as a tree, and I love nature, and that's a great idea. So let me water up them roots with something I can do about my schedule dread. All right, now I recognize that we're all different, so I'll speak to myself. When I experience schedule dread, this is what I'm currently working on because all these ADHD barriers, they fucking suck. And I'm in service of forward motion regardless of mood. That's a hard thing to do. Because otherwise I go catatonic and I stay locked inside my head. And that's always fighting a losing battle. It's not fun, and I don't wish to continue that. So I'm doing my very best to acknowledge that I have a feeling. It's the feeling of dread, and either a thought triggered the emotion, thanks brain, you asshole, or the emotion was triggered by some past conditioning or something. Regardless, there's a feeling, and the feeling is valid. I wish it weren't there, but there it is. And rather than fighting it or fighting against it, like swimming against the current, like I want to feel differently. How do I force feed an emotion into my body? I try to take a quick minute to acknowledge it. It's like, okay, so this is the emotion river I'm flowing down at the moment. It fucking sucks. I predetermined already that I was going to dedicate 45 minutes to this thing. That was a thing that I decided preemptively. It will or it won't get done, and I can always look at my schedule again later and adjust. But for now, I go until the timer goes off. And for my money, God help me if I have not been ultra specific with what I'm working on. In that dread state, it is, if I'm adding some kind of a vague task during schedule dread, I'm never going to get started. I will be in the void of my brain wondering how to get started. And the proof is in the pudding. Like that pudding has been served so many times. I'm done with that pudding. So do yourselves a favor. You want to do yourself, you get school spaghettis like me? Do yourself a favor. Specificity. That's your best friend. Specificity. Oh my God, that is your best friend. I just knuckle slammed the table. That hurt. Okay, let's just say I'm working on ADHD Big Brother business. I'm working on the biz. If I say 45 minutes working on marketing, I'm screwed. That is so vague. I'll just tell you right now, it's a guarantee. I'm brain void. I would need the ultra specificity of something like, okay, for 45 minutes, I'm researching mental health podcasts to be a guest on, and I'm emailing them. Holy crap. Emailing them. I don't even know what I was going to say. Emuling them? I'm going to emule them in a note. So that's specific for me. Or it could be like for 45 minutes, I'm writing like a mock-up draft of a pitch to be a guest on someone's podcast. It's a specific thing that I'm doing with a very actionable step that is beyond wondering what to do first. And that is how I'm currently managing schedule dread for myself. It feels like for me sometimes that if I'm not really gelling with scheduling things, or if there's not this cool flow feeling to me doing the work, it makes it very hard for me to do. And so I don't want to stop doing the work. I still want to do the work. So in order for me to get past that, in those moments, it's not always going to be bad. It's not always going to be good. But in those moments when it's a struggle, relying on those specific things like specificity, keeping myself in that timer, knowing that I pre-scheduled it. And that's a big one. Like having the trust that I put in the work beforehand to determine my schedule. So in the moment when I'm all rebellious about like, I don't want to do this, or it's not enough time, or blah, when all that like schedule dread occurs, I can lean on the fact that, oh no, when I was sitting down and really looking at this, I determined something. So I'm going to trust myself. That is a big deal. So I hope that helps you guys. If anything, man, we got a cool new perspective from Meredith. How about that? And so then my challenge to you guys this week, this is time for a challenge. What are we going to do for a challenge? How about this? How about you take something that you could do for hours and you schedule like, 45 minutes and put it in a container of time. And then no matter what, stop at the end of that 45 minutes and tell me, did you experience schedule dread? Did you experience frustration? What was that feeling like when you stopped doing the thing that you wanted to keep doing when you came up to that timer? I'd be super curious to hear. You can reach out to me, ADHDBigBrother.com, hit the contact button and reach out to me there. All right, guys, I hope that helps. Hey, if you've gotten value out of this, can you do me a favor and can you share this on your social medias? I don't have social media anymore. I have no LinkedIn. I have no Instagram. I have no Twitter. I have no the TikTok or the whatevers. I'm flying solo. I'm simply the podcast, the forum, the website, and that's it. And you can email me. I also have an email, but that's it. I'm prehistoric now. Anyway, yeah, please consider sharing this with your friends. And if you're getting a lot of value out of it, would you consider reviewing it on iTunes? That would be wonderific. And with that, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. And I will see you next week. Later.